mumbling. Speak loudly. Enunciate. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Toad TV. I am Mary Beth.
I am Helen.
We are the creative hands and minds behind Toad Hollow, and welcome. It is the end of April.
Very last day.
Goodbye, April. We knew you when. Actually, April was a pretty nice month.
It was a very nice month.
You know, there were quite a few days where we said, oh my God, we should be sitting outside. And then we saw the ants running across the porch and we're like, oh no.
But we did clear up the porch. We got all the debris off and,
you know, the winter
stuff, leaves and
that just
dust.
accumulate, the accumulation of all the stuffs, the outdoor stuffs. But yes, we did. We cleaned it off. I'm going to spray it so that maybe it will, you know, discourage some of the creepy crawlers from crawling up us.
We have gotten the fake hornet's nest to try and deter the carpenter bees from drilling holes in the roof of our porch. I don't know how well it's working though, because I was out there with Hugo yesterday and it was like flying in my face.
Really?
Yeah. And he did get up and around where the fake one is. He ultimately flew away.
Okay.
But
okay.
We shall see.
Well, I mean, a couple of years ago, last year maybe, we actually saw them going into the ceiling.
Yeah.
Into the holes in the ceiling. I haven't seen that. And I have not seen as many. However, it is still relatively early.
I see a lot of them in the back. So they're going into the windowsills in the back.
Awesome.
Yeah. But they're not flying around my face on the porch.
This is true. By the fake hornet's nest, we got a Chinese lantern that looks like a hornet's nest and hung it.
It's something you can get on Amazon. I saw it on Instagram. Somebody was using it in her garden to deter the hornets, but it also says the bees will not go around another hornet's nest. So
we want the regular bees. We just don't want the carpenter bees.
Right.
I'm all for bees. I really am. I just would prefer them not stinging my dogs and not
drilling
stinging
holes in my wood.
Yeah, destroying the porch.
Because we have seen a new hole this year, so which is where we hung the hornet's nest.
Fingers crossed, it works.
Right.
All right. So you knew that was going to happen. Hold, please. Hugo's downside. There may also be a bee inside. We're not quite sure. There was buzzing when I opened the door to let him in, and I opened it up again very quickly, and I'm hoping it went back out again.
He heard us talking about the carpenter bees, and he wanted to come be on the podcast
to put forth his claim as to whether he should be allowed to reside here or not. But yeah, no, it's life.
Yes.
Life in the spring. Okay, so what do we have to talk about?
We have cross stitch, not a ton. I did get a lot of cross stitching in, but only on really 2 projects this month. You have a couple more than I do.
Yes.
We have a book to talk about. I don't think we have any real TV to talk about.
No. We are watching Agatha Raisin with my mom. She's liking it very much. So
yes.
That's working out very well. But yes, it's been a slow, it's been a slow 2 weeks. It's been a quiet 2 weeks.
Yeah, and it's spring, so you know, where you have all the crafting time in the world in the winter while you're hibernating, you know, it's nice outside, so then let's go outside and work and that kind of thing. So
we're also, you know, trying to be very conscious of our jobs,
you know, responsible,
and actually do that. We're adulting, so come out of hibernation so we can adult.
All right. I'm not a fan.
No, really not. All right, let's talk cross stitch first.
Okay.
All right. I have my temperature garden, which I am up to date on. I have to do yesterday and today, and then April will be done. But I've been keeping up to date very conscientiously, and it is so pretty.
Oh, do you have a picture from?
No. I'm sorry, I don't think I have any pictures from last time.
Okay.
So there will be no progress in that. But here you can see, I think, well, I've added all of April. So here, April starts here. Each row is a different month.
Is this a snake?
No, it's a rabbit.
Oh, okay. Now I got it.
He's
Okay.
a rabbit. I mean, it's Easter, for God's sakes.
Well, that makes much more sense, but you know.
Garden of Eden and
Right.
everything. All right, so that's where I am.
It is really beautiful.
I love it. I really do love it. It is just the colors are so pretty, really gorgeous. And I love how all the different colors are popping up so that now that we're getting slightly warmer, we're getting into the reds and oranges.
But you
The
still get some of the
coolers.
blues every once in a while.
Right. Because it's April,
Yeah.
you know, and April's going to be in there. You know, it's just really, really cool. And in each month, pretty much each month, there is something small. In April, there was the bunny. In March, there was a duck. In February, there was a ladybug. So, and I think in May, there's going to be a beehive over here at the beginning with some bees.
Oh, cool.
So it's really cool. It's really pretty.
And you're keeping up by just doing it on Sundays.
Yes.
Doing an entire week on Sunday, Monday kind of thing.
That's what I do. I collect the temperatures over the week, and then on Sunday, it usually takes me Sunday morning and Sunday afternoon for my morning and afternoon stitching, and then maybe Monday morning to add in. I was doing it a couple of days this week because I wanted to get as many in April done before April was over.
Okay.
But yes, I usually just do it Sunday and then Monday morning if I need catch up. But yeah, the colors together are just so
they really
pretty.
are. They're gorgeous.
I mean, here where you've got like the larkspurs right here, and it's blue with reds and oranges in there. I just love the way it comes through. Yeah, no, it's I like that they're different flowers. It's not all the same thing. Some of them are really big, some of them are smaller. It's going to be so pretty when it's done.
It is.
So that's where I am with that.
All right.
Oh, and I have this in my my portfolio bag that I made using Little Stinker from Tula Pink. It just works perfectly because
all flowers and
the
everything.
whole flower. Yeah. All right.
Okay, so at the beginning of the month, I had grand plans where there were going to be 5 of my whips that I worked on throughout the month, and then I was going to start one thing, which was a stitch along, and then start a second one. And all I managed to do was I did my stitch alongs, which I'll get to, and then one of the whips that I was supposed to pull out was Halloween in the City by Croquetta Go-Go. And I did do that for a couple days, and I did this building here. I started that. That is as far as I got.
Are you continuing that next month?
I don't know. I think it's going to depend on what Lola Crow throws at us.
Okay.
As far as the extensiveness of the birds.
Okay. I did work on my Epic Alice, but not enough to really see the difference. And I managed to get, I think, one day in on my 100 owls. But other than that, I've been working on stitch alongs in the morning or my Owl Forest Alice. So this is what I am doing for the Owl Forest Alice.
Oh, wow, you got all this down here.
Right. So this, I finished up Alice in the Sea here in the Sea of Tears. And then I came down and I finished up the shoe. I did this flowery thing here, and I've started the house.
And you did all the borders too, right? Or were they done?
The green border is what I put in. The red border was already in. So I did the green border and then did the pieces at the bottom.
Very cool.
So this is coming
So you
along
did get quite a bit
nicely.
done.
Yes, I did. I did get quite a bit done on it. I just enjoy working on this so very much. I love how each of the pieces comes together. This was a stitch along by Owl Forest from a couple of years ago, and she had it separated into different sections. I'm working on section 7 now. That's down here. This is as far down as it's going to go. I'm pretty sure there's a border that's going to go across the bottom, but I'm pretty sure that's as far down as it goes. I think
So there are 12 or 14 sections. Do you remember?
there may be 15. I'm a little bit tight on my top corner, my top one, but I think it's
That'll
enough.
work. Yeah.
And my bottom border, I should have more than enough because I'm pretty sure the border is the same thing and it goes across the top. It's going to go across the bottom. So I'm good. I think I'm going to fit in well because I'm fairly certain I went all the way across. So it's here to here. So I have all this space. So I should be fitting in beautifully. But yes, this is definitely one that is not going to be done right away, but I'm okay with that. Working my way through it slowly. I try and give it a week every month. Normally, I have 4 different projects that I try and work on in the mornings. April has been weird because I haven't gotten like full on stitching in the mornings. There have been quite a few days in April where either I didn't get anything done or I only got a couple of stitches in, or I did some stitching and had to take it all out and start all over again. And April was an odd month. So this is in my portfolio bag that is the Curiouser fabric from Tula Pink, which is perfect for my Alice.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Which one are we doing first?
Let's do the Court of Crows.
Okay. We joined the Court of Crows Stitch Along by Fine Frog Stitching, and Helen is doing hers on linen. I am doing mine. Nope, you're doing yours on Ada.
Mine's on Ada.
Helen's doing hers on Ada, so am I. But she releases something new every Friday.
And some weeks it's small, maybe 30 stitches, and then other weeks you get a full crow to do, so, or the banner. Where we are. I'm completely up to date on this one. Since last time we've finished off this banner here. I think we added the torch, right?
Yes.
And then, what was he called? The seer?
The magical raven.
So this past week we added the magical raven.
The week before we added the flowers in the border so that one week you get the flowers that go like right here. And then the next week you get to do the raven. And then I think this week is going to be the torch, finishing off that torch.
So one of the smaller weeks was doing the torch here. And then like the big week was the banner, and then the raven, and then the smaller week. I don't know why I'm holding this up. It's not like you can see anything.
I was going to say, the way you're holding it, you can't see. Okay. Do you want to go a little bit closer? So we now have filled in 2 ravens.
This is where I am. This is what mine looks like. I do enjoy this. And I like that the, even on the bigger stitches for the week, it takes 2 days maybe to do it. It's not like some people where they give you 6,000 stitches.
I'm not completely done, up to date on this like Helen is. So what I have done is I added in the magical raven and I finished up his frame. I still have to do the frame above him, finish this frame. This one's ready to go. This banner is completely done. I took out this banner and I'm redoing it. I originally was going to do this using Hogwarts colors, and I was going to do Ravenclaw and Gryffindor over here and Hufflepuff and Slytherin over here. And I'd finished the Hufflepuff and Slytherin top part that she had given us, and you couldn't see any of the gray against the green on the Slytherin, and I wasn't sure how it was going to go with what she was giving us, what the rest of the thing was going to look like. So I decided, all right, I'm just going to take it all out, and I'm going to use the colors that she called for this. I'm not going to put my own spin on it. I'm going to just go ahead and do it the way it was planned. So then I took 3 days to pull out all the stitches in this tiny little rectangle here, because my Lord, those stitches were just...
It's a lot of confetti stitches, because it's not that it's just, you have a row of one color and you can just whip them all out.
Right.
It's like in this row, you have 10 shades of blue.
And
it's like 1 stitch each.
Then after you've done it, even if you have like 6 or 7 of one color, when you put in the other color, you're overweaving and underweaving and that kind of thing, so that it's all tied up. Oh my God, it took me so long to get those stitches out. However, they are out. I have to finish putting this back in, but I think that's like 2 weeks from now or something like that. I'm pretty sure this is going to, I think this coming week is going to be this torch, and then the following week is going to be this banner. So I have a little bit of time to get that up to date. She is really, really good. She gave, when you bought the thing at the beginning, she gave you a picture of like the overall thing with shapes in it, not the picture, not the actual what's going to be in it, but like, here are the frames. And then she tells you, this is going to be week 1, this is going to be week 2, this is going to be week 3, so that you know exactly what to expect for it. So I love these guys, and I really cannot wait to see what the final is going to be. So I have to finish up my frames. But even if I don't get to say these frames until the actual thing comes out, I still have enough time within the week to finish the frame and get everything done. So this is good. This is very good.
Yeah.
I am enjoying this.
These are in we made little crow portfolio bags.
And this is from a Tula Pink Deja Vu fabric line that I think was her witch's fabric line or something like that.
Yeah.
But it's really cool because the crow really shows up well in the lace. It's cool. So that's that. All right.
On to the next stitch along. This is the Cursed Stitch Along. This is the Extraordinary Birds stitch along by Lola Crow. And so far she has given us the frame of the cage, the gilded cage to do, and then I think May 16th. In and around mid-May, we get the first group of birds. So the initial stitch is over 6,000 stitches. So that is what my focus has been on, both morning and afternoons, because I want it, if I'm going to do something like this, a stitch along, I want to try and stay on task, because if I get too far behind, then it'll just languish. So I want to try and keep it up. So I want to get the cage done by mid-May, and I figured I needed to do like 150 stitches a day.
Okay.
To have it done in time for the first clue. And the way this is going is I put in 100 stitches, I take out 75. So it doesn't sound like a lot when I say I only have 150 stitches to do a day. But when you think that I have to do it twice, it's a lot more.
It's a lot more.
I've gotten, I think, things positioned so that I'm not hitting that so much anymore. Do you want to?
No, okay. Go ahead.
So this is where I am so far. So she gave you the owl and the vampire parrot. These are your first 2 birds in this initial stitch. So I have to finish some of these bars coming down here, and then there's a lot of green on the bottom down here that I have to do. So I'm on pace to finish, but trying to count over, there was a lot of counting.
Did she tell you it's a vampire parrot?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And
obviously I haven't gotten there yet.
there's a lot of counting because there's a lot of negative space where you're going to be filling things in later. I almost thought at one point that it would be almost make sense to wait for the first birds and do the cage as you got them. But I was far enough along, I became possessed that I want it. It is absolutely gorgeous. And I love her work, so that I'm really looking forward to it. It's just, there were times where, I'd go down.
Sorry.
That's okay. I'd bring one of these down and I'd have had this done and it didn't match up. So it had to come out. And then trying to figure out where you went wrong.
Right.
And it's worth it, but it just takes a lot of time. And I'm doing it on linen, so the counting takes that much more time.
It looks really, really good.
Yeah.
Really good.
I mean, her colors, because I'm using all her DMC colors.
We went through and got everything.
Right.
And we got it all ahead of time so that we were ready to go, and we got enough for both of us to do it.
And the only difference is that the darkest, she calls for 310, but neither of us wanted to work with 310, so we got a dark navy that we're using instead. But you can't even really tell.
And we checked it very carefully against all the other colors to make sure that it was not close to anything.
Right.
So
this is
that turquoise is so gorgeous. Yeah. Wow.
So I really can't wait for the first clue. I also can't wait for this to be done because working on one particular thing for so long, especially since you're only doing rows going down.
Right.
Take the row out. Put the row back in again. It's boring.
Yes.
So I want it to be done so I can move on to my other stuff. But he is really very cool.
He is. I did mine. I'm doing mine on Ada. I am not nearly as far as Helen. I did mine, and I did this, and I came down, and I started going across the bottom and realized that I was totally off, like totally off. So then I started pulling out the stitches, and this is leaving such a shadow. These dark stitches are leaving such a shadow. And I was going to have to pull out so many of them.
And it's not even 310.
I was really worried how it was going to look, whether it was going to, was there going to be negative space there? Because this is not a full coverage. So if there's negative space where I had pulled out the dark stitches, it was going to show and it was just going to look off.
And it looks much worse in person than it did when you were holding it up.
Oh, okay.
There are definite dark marks where the stitching was.
So what I did was I measured it out and figured out that I can still put it on this piece of fabric, but start over again and put it like this, and I should be okay. So I started over again, and that's as far as I've gotten. But what I did do was I put in a safety line going all the way down, because there are certain points that need to match up with the center of the top of the spire and everything like that. So what I did was I put in my safety line so that as I get down and I'm going across, I'm going to know immediately if it's not lining up properly. I have not put in, the other thing was the first time I did it, I was only working with the dark color and doing all the stitches that were the dark color only. This time, I'm unthreading the needle and threading it with a new color and putting in all the stitches in this area at one point, rather than doing just the dark and then coming back in and filling in with the teal and that sort of thing. I am putting in everything.
Trying to do all the dark was where I was running into my counting problems.
Right.
And it's just.
So I am doing it so that I'm putting in all the colors at one time so that I know that my stitches are going to be right. So this is what I have to start working on again, but I am not against waiting for the first real one to come out and then working around that.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's going to be up at the top rather than like all the way at the bottom.
I'm hoping that, and on a week, since it's a weekly release thing, that it's going to be much smaller.
Right.
It's not going to be proportionate to here's 6,000 stitches you have to do in 6 weeks.
Yeah, no, I'm hoping that it's going to be like, here's this, and you should have this bar going down next to it, but like, here's a butterfly, and you should have a bar here and a bar here, and I can just add the bars in as I go along. We're going to find out. It's going to be, Helen and I are coming at this 2 different directions, but it's going to be okay.
Yeah.
Because, you know, it's all in how you do it and how it makes sense to you. But yes, I may also be, if it like starts all the way at the bottom or something like that, I may be taking some threads and going across every 20 stitches or so,
just to
and gridding it so that I can place it and figure out where it goes.
Right.
I'm not sure. I'm going to have to see where the next thing is. I'm going to try and get some more of the cage done before it comes out. And this probably should be my focus from now on until, you know, tomorrow when the next
the crow comes out.
Fine frog comes out.
Yeah.
But start putting in some serious time on this and see if I can get caught up.
Yeah.
It was a little bit frustrating when you realize that you got down, all the stitches that you did coming down were all off and they had to all be taken out. But it's okay. It's fine. It is.
It was easier to take it out than your tiny little banner that was full coverage.
Yes, it was.
Because it was just take a thread and go pull it.
Okay. I have one more thing to show. I started a new pattern this month. This is the Meadow Badger by Mama Witch Cross Stitch. Helen's going to put a picture because it's going to show up better than if I hold up the paper one. And I did get a little time in on this. I am doing this on Pistachio 16 count Ada from Atomic Ranch. This is the color of the fabric. I love this color.
So cool.
It's so pretty. And this is where I am so far. It doesn't look like much because she has a lot that goes on in her border.
That is a lot. Having done her borders. That's
where I am so far. Oh God, I love this color.
Yeah.
And the colors are showing up so beautifully against it. I think it's really, really pretty. So slow and steady wins the race. I am going to continue with this one. I still have my Alice sampler that I have put almost no work in on yet this month, but I will continue to work on that as I can. I have my Enchanted Forest that I'm going to fit in as I can, but I'm definitely not starting anything new in May. It's going to be working on the things that I have right now.
Yeah, I think so. I worked very briefly on my three big pieces. All did get something this month, but it wasn't enough to show any kind of real progress, just because it was just a little bit of time. But at least they got touched. So there's
yes.
I have my mushrooms that I want to keep working on. The 2 stitch alongs are going to take priority.
I am finding that I'm not as invested in cross stitch as I was like 2 months ago.
Right.
Not that I'm giving it up by any means, but I don't reach for the cross stitch first thing, like when in afternoon after lunch type of thing. I don't immediately reach for cross stitch. I'm kind of reaching either for knitting or going up to the sewing room and working on sewing on something.
Right.
So that I'm kind of going towards fabric now. My mind is shifting towards fabric a little bit. So there may be more things coming out of the sewing room and not as much cross stitch.
Yeah, it's all cyclical.
Mm-hmm.
I do want to cross stitch most days,
And
but
yes.
it's not the obsessive.
I need to buy all the cross stitching,
Right,
get everything
or
kitted up.
I want to, I just want to be cross stitching. I don't want to knit. I want to.
And I don't feel like I have to have these 5 for the morning and these
Right.
5 for the afternoon and that kind of thing. And I have to make sure I get my 6 days in on each. It's not that anymore, which it was 2 months ago. Now it's kind of moving over towards, I want to make sure I have time in the morning to cross stitch. And then, of course, now that it's getting warmer, why not start working on a mohair sweater? Because, that makes perfect sense. But I want to knit on that. And
I'm excited about my sweater. I do want to, and I want to do much more with sewing fabric wise. So,
now fabric is calling.
Right.
So that hopefully we're going to start showing some things that are finishing up from in there.
Right.
So things are in progress, in various stages of progress. But yeah, that's what's coming up with that. So that's kind of where my mind is and my yearning is going towards sewing machine and fabric. It's a gorgeous room. We've got it decorated the way we love it, and it's bright. And when the windows are open, and the cats love it, and it's a perfect place to spend some time.
Yeah.
So hope to be up there a little bit this afternoon.
Yes.
Okay. All right. That is it. Craft-wise.
Right.
All right. So we have a book to talk about.
Yes, I just finished reading this. Mary Beth read it before. Our sister number 3 initially read it and then told us both that we had to read it because neither one of us would have picked it up on our own. So thank you, Amanda.
Yes. This is definitely outside my
box.
My box, yeah.
Completely. So the book is called As Long as the Lemon Tree Grows.
And it's by Zulfa Kutu. And I'm so sorry if I butchered that, but it's Katouh. That's her last name.
It's a book about the Syrian Revolution. It's not an easy book at all. But it's such a wonderful, wonderful book. If you can get through a book that does not pull any punches about what happened in Syria, which I knew very little about.
And they're in the middle of a war zone.
Yes.
So you have, for anybody who has any kind of triggers with that, there's war and everything that goes along with it.
All the horrors that we as a human race
inflict upon each other.
Choose to do to each other. It's just...
What I liked about it...
It was so well written.
Yeah. Even amidst all of this horror and awfulness, there are tiny little bits of joy
and hope
that you find in there. And she centers on them so that it doesn't all get washed away in the horror,
Yeah, and it's the quote from the title is, "As long as the lemon trees grow, there is hope."
It will destroy you.
Oh my God.
It will absolutely destroy you. You could just go in knowing that. However,
if you can do that,
these characters stay with you.
Yeah, and it's just, I think it's a book that we should read, that we should know what happens.
Right.
In countries that are not the United States when war is going on at your doorstep. So it was an eye-opening book.
Yeah. It was so beautifully written.
Mm-hmm.
It was, because even with the horror of the subject, it's a beautiful book.
And they love their country. so much
Yes.
that you want to know the Syria that makes them want to stay and makes it so hard for them for Syrians to leave because they love Syria so much. It's beautiful.
It is. It's absolutely beautiful. So As Long as the Lemon Trees Grow is the name of the book. And yeah, it's a good read. It's so worth it.
The audio production is beautiful. So
We both listened to
yeah.
it. It was really, really good. Really well done. So that's our happy note for you this month. It really is worth it.
It is.
You will cry. You'll smile.
My two favorite books of the year so far just like took me and shredded me to a million pieces.
It's the 50 years of the end of the Vietnam War.
Yeah.
I saw that in the paper this morning. It's the 50-year anniversary of the end of the Vietnam War. It's like, oh, I read that just in the right time.
Yeah.
So, all right, that's the women that we're talking about by Kristen and
Two
Hannah.
favorite books. So,
yeah, no, it's a good one. It's a really good one. Okay, all right, we have to get going because there's fabric to be made. Well, fabric to manipulate. We hope you guys have a great rest of the month. You know, all
18 hours that are left. And by the time you see this, it'll be May. So
it's gonna be May anyway. Yes, happy May, everybody. We hope you guys have a great weekend. We, I think, are doing something for the Kentucky Derby. I'm not sure. That's on Saturday, but hope you have a lovely 2 weeks. We will be back in about 2 weeks' time to talk about knitting,
right,
and possibly other stuff. We'll see what we get done.
And for those of you who are going to Maryland Sheep and Wool, have a great time.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. We're not going, so I didn't even realize it was this weekend. But of course it is, because we always miss the Kentucky Derby. We were doing Maryland. Okay, guys.
Did I say go forth and create?
No, I don't think so, because we got distracted.
Okay.
All right.
Go forth and create.
And we'll see you in about 2 weeks.
Bye.
Bye.